Ladies and gentlemen, yes, Simon Sinek is a prominent author, motivational speaker, and leadership consultant. He's best known for his concept of the golden circle and his book Start With Why, which emphasizes the importance of understanding and communicating the why behind actions, decisions, or missions. Sinek's work often focuses on inspiring leaders and organizations to build trust, foster collaboration, and create environments that motivate people. Some of his other notable books include Leaders Eat Last, a book about creating environments of safety and trust in organizations. The Infinite Game, a framework for approaching challenges with a long-term mindset rather than focusing on short-term gains. He also gained widespread recognition through his TED Talk, How Great Leaders Inspire Action, which is one of the most downloaded, watched TED Talks of all time. Imagine walking into a room where everyone around you seems smarter, more experienced, and more confident than you. It's intimidating, isn't it? But here's the truth about that situation. It's exactly where you want to be. Because when you're the stupidest in the room, you're actually in the best position to grow. Being the least knowledgeable person in a room is not a reflection of your inadequacy, it's an opportunity. It's the chance to listen more, learn more, and absorb insights that you wouldn't have gained otherwise. The smartest people, the ones we admire and look up to, didn't get there by being the smartest in every room they entered. They got there by choosing rooms that stretched them, challenged them, and sometimes even humbled them. When we're the least experienced in a group, ego takes a backseat. Because it has to. There's no room for pretending you know it all. And that vulnerability, that's where the magic happens. It's in the questions you're brave enough to ask, the mistakes you're willing to make, and the humility you show that learning takes root. People often avoid these rooms because they don't want to feel inadequate. They think that being surrounded by those who know more might expose their weaknesses. But here's the thing, growth doesn't come from comfort. Growth comes from discomfort, from standing on the edge of what you know and stepping into the unknown. The discomfort of being the stupidest in the room is the cost of admission for real progress. If the smartest people in the room are judging you, they're often rooting for you. Why? Because they've been where you are. They've sat in your chair, asked those same questions, and felt that same uncertainty. They know that curiosity is not a weakness, it's a strength. It's the hallmark of someone willing to improve. So if you find yourself in that room where everyone seems to know more than you, lean into it. Don't hide, don't shrink. Ask the questions, make the mistakes, and take every opportunity to learn. The truth is, you don't grow by being the smartest in the room. You grow by choosing the right rooms. Being the stupidest in the room isn't a disadvantage, it's a gift. It's a sign that you've placed yourself in an environment where you can become better, stronger, and wiser. And the irony is, the more time you spend in those rooms, the less stupid you'll feel. One day you'll look back and realize those were the moments that shaped you. Being the stupidest in the room creates the discomfort necessary for growth, pushing you beyond your comfort zone to learn and improve. Asking questions and seeking to understand in a room of smarter or more experienced people shows courage and a commitment to learning. The most successful individuals intentionally choose environments that challenge their knowledge and abilities, knowing it's the best way to improve. Vulnerability in acknowledging what you don't know allows for genuine learning and prevents the ego from hindering progress. Surrounding yourself with people who know more than you is a strategic choice to gain insights, build skills, and accelerate personal and professional development. Accordingly, growth rarely occurs when everything feels safe, predictable, and easy. It's in those moments of discomfort when we're stretched beyond our usual limits that we truly evolve. Think about the times in your life when you've learned the most or achieved something meaningful. Chances are those moments didn't come when everything was effortless. They came when you faced uncertainty, when you were pushed into unfamiliar territory, or when you were forced to confront challenges you didn't think you could overcome. Discomfort acts as a catalyst. It forces us to adapt, to question what we think we know, and to discover strengths we didn't realize we had. It's not an easy process, and it's not supposed to be. Growth demands that we leave behind the comfort of the status quo and embrace the unknown. That's why discomfort feels so unsettling. It's the feeling of change happening in real time. Most people avoid discomfort because it's inherently unpleasant. It's far easier to stick to what's familiar, to stay in environments where you feel confident and capable. But that safety comes at a cost. Without discomfort, there's no real incentive to stretch ourselves, to dig deeper, or to push boundaries. Growth requires risk. It requires the willingness to step into situations where you might fail, where you might feel out of place, or where success isn't guaranteed. Yet every time we face discomfort, we gain something invaluable. We build resilience, sharpen our skills, and expand our perspective. The more we embrace those uncomfortable moments, the more we realize they're not obstacles, they're opportunities. The truth is, discomfort isn't a sign that you're doing something wrong. It's a sign that you're moving forward. Curiosity is often misunderstood. People sometimes equate asking questions or admitting they don't know something with weakness, but the reality is quite the opposite. Curiosity is one of the most powerful tools we have for growth and understanding. It drives us to explore, to challenge assumptions, and to seek out new perspectives. Without curiosity, progress would stagnate and innovation would cease. It's not knowing everything that makes someone strong, it's the willingness to learn that truly sets them apart. When you ask questions, you open doors. You invite others to share their knowledge, experiences, and insights. Curiosity creates connections. It shows you're engaged and invested in understanding more deeply. It's not a sign of ignorance. It's a signal of intelligence. The smartest people in any room are often the ones who ask the most questions because they understand that no one knows everything and that learning is a lifelong process. Curiosity also requires courage. It means stepping into the vulnerable space of admitting you don't know something, of acknowledging there's more to learn. That vulnerability isn't a flaw, it's a strength. It shows humility and a desire to grow. In fact, the act of asking questions demonstrates confidence. Confidence in your ability to expand your understanding and in the value of the knowledge others bring to the table. The beauty of curiosity is that it leads to unexpected discoveries. It's what allows us to break through limitations and find solutions to problems we didn't even know existed. Curiosity fuels creativity, innovation, and connection. It's not about having all the answers. It's about having the drive to find them. And that drive, more than anything else, is what propels us forward. The smartest people don't seek out comfort, they seek out challenges. They understand that true growth comes from putting themselves in situations that test their abilities, stretch their thinking, and push them beyond their limits. They don't shy away from uncertainty or difficulty, because they know that it's in those moments of struggle that they gain the most. Challenges are opportunities in disguise. They force us to confront what we don't know, to face our fears, and to develop skills we might not have otherwise cultivated. Smart people don't avoid these moments. They welcome them. They recognize that stagnation comes from doing what's easy, and that progress is born from doing what's hard. Every challenge they embrace becomes a stepping stone to greater knowledge, greater resilience, and greater confidence. It's not about seeking out difficulty for its own sake, but rather about intentionally placing themselves in situations where they can grow. They understand that failing isn't the enemy, staying the same is. Challenges provide a way to measure progress, to discover what works and what doesn't, and to refine their approach. They view obstacles not as barriers, but as puzzles to solve, each one offering a lesson or a new perspective. This mindset requires humility because it acknowledges that no one has all the answers and that there's always room to improve. It also requires courage to face the discomfort and uncertainty that challenges bring. But the smartest people understand that avoiding challenges only leads to missed opportunities. They're willing to risk failing today if it means they'll be stronger and wiser tomorrow. End quote. Every time they take on a challenge, they expand their capacity for problem-solving, creativity, and resilience. They move closer to mastering their craft, not by staying in safe, predictable spaces, but by continually seeking out the unknown. Growth requires humility, and humility means setting ego aside. Ego thrives on the need to appear knowledgeable, competent, and in control. but that very need often becomes a barrier to learning. When ego takes the lead, we prioritize looking good over being good. We resist admitting what we don't know and miss out on opportunities to expand our understanding. Growth, on the other hand, demands the courage to say, "I don't know," and the openness to listen, absorb, and adapt. The process of learning often involves mistakes, questions, and aha moments of vulnerability. Ego views these as threats, but they are actually the foundation of growth. A person willing to set their ego aside understands that failure is not a reflection of their worth, it's a necessary step in becoming better. They recognize that it's not about proving they're right, it's about discovering what's true. Growth is impossible when we cling to the need to always have the answers, always be the smartest, or always get it right on the first try. By putting ego in the back seat, we create space for curiosity and collaboration. We become more receptive to feedback, more willing to ask for help, and more capable of learning from those around us. Ego wants to dominate the conversation. Humility invites others to contribute. Ego deflects criticism. Humility uses it as fuel for improvement. Growth also involves stepping into new and uncomfortable spaces where we aren't experts, where we're unsure and even awkward. Ego resists these situations because it fears looking weak. But those who embrace growth see these moments for what they truly are: opportunities to develop new skills, expand perspectives, and become better versions of themselves. They understand that the journey matters more than the image they project along the way. True progress is not about proving something to others, but about becoming more capable and insightful. And the more we can let go of our ego, the freer we are to engage fully in the process of growth, to learn, and to ultimately achieve more than we ever thought possible. If that makes sense, right? The environments we choose to place ourselves in have a profound impact on who we become. When you deliberately choose rooms that stretch you, rooms where others are more experienced, more knowledgeable, or more skilled, you position yourself to grow in ways you never could if you stayed in places of comfort. These rooms challenge your assumptions, force you to think differently, and demand more from you than you might initially believe you're capable of giving. Being in a room where you're not the smartest or the most capable can be intimidating, but it's also incredibly rewarding. In these environments, you're surrounded by people who can teach you, inspire you, and push you to do better. Every conversation becomes an opportunity to learn, every observation a chance to absorb something new. The discomfort of feeling out of your depth is the price you pay for the growth that follows. These rooms also reveal blind spots you didn't even know you had. They expose areas where you can improve and introduce you to perspectives that broaden your thinking. Growth doesn't happen when you're surrounded by people who affirm what you already know. It happens when you're challenged by ideas, skills, and approaches that are unfamiliar. Choosing rooms that stretch you means seeking out those challenges rather than avoiding them. It's not always easy to stay in these environments. They can make you question your abilities and test your confidence. But over time, you begin to see the value in the struggle. You realize that every difficult moment, every question you ask, and every new concept you grasp is moving you closer to your potential. These rooms force you to level up, and in doing so, they prepare you for greater challenges ahead. The rooms you choose to enter reflect your priorities. Staying in spaces where you're always comfortable might protect your ego, but it won't help you grow. Choosing rooms that stretch you, however, is an investment in your future self. It's a conscious decision to prioritize learning and progress over temporary comfort. And the more you seek out these spaces, the more capable and confident you become, not because the rooms get easier, but because you've risen to meet their demands. Growth doesn't come from staying comfortable or sticking to what you know. It comes from embracing discomfort, asking questions, seeking challenges, setting ego aside, and choosing environments that stretch you. Each of these choices requires courage, humility, and a willingness to learn, but they also hold the key to becoming the best version of yourself. When you step into the unknown, when you dare to be the stupidest in the room, you open the door to transformation. The path to growth isn't easy, but it's always worth it.